Let's dig a little deeper. What I want to do is I want to show you really how your policy works, okay? So let's say this is your whole life. Let's say you have $100,000 of whole life insurance, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, you get it at age 30, and let's say it goes to age 100, your whole life. And let's say that, for example, you're spending $2,000 a year for your policy. Remember, there's a death benefit and there's a savings element. Two things bundled together as one. Every time you pay your $2,000 premium, a portion pays for the death benefit, meaning if you die, your family's going to get $100,000. The other portion of this goes into this thing called cash value, right? What happens is, as you spend more and more money, your cash value is going to slowly build up. In the beginning, it's zero, and eventually, the normal thing is if you kept paying your premium all the way to age 100, you would end up with, typically, whatever the death benefit is, that's how much cash value you end up having. So the more money you put in, the more money your goes up. So let's say what happens is that, let's say you get to age 50. And let's say you've got $25,000 of cash value in this policy. Let's say that you die at age 50. What does your family get? Yeah, your family gets the $100,000. Who gets this? Insurance company. Remember, I have the other sheet with the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm taking the rules off. I have the rules right here, and I'm like, let's take a look at the rules. And I go through the whole thing. So in the first 1 to 5 years, we say there's no account balance. Well, a lot of times, there's not. There's a period in the beginning here, no matter how much you spend, a lot of times, and every policy is different, there is no balance. Can you imagine if you started a 401k plan with your employer and you save money every month, and at the end of 18 months you have zero balance? Would that be the most insane thing you've ever heard?
Mm-hmm.
So why? Why is there no money? It goes to pay the commission of the agent. Yeah, so what happens is this. They keep this money. You get this. So let's say you get to, just say for example, you get to age 75, you die, and there's $50,000 in there. The family gets this, insurance company keeps this. Pretty crazy, right? What they like to tell you is to say, hey Don, the reason why you want to get a whole life policy is because the premiums are going to be level. They're never going to go up. It's going to be their whole life. But the reality of it is this, and when your cash value is zero, if you die, your family gets this, right? So in the very beginning, they're 100% liable for the whole entire death benefit. But as your cash value builds up, theoretically, think about this. If you died at age 50, they pay you this, they keep that. So the real liability that the insurance company has is really $75,000. So the bigger that this number gets in here, you're self-insuring your policy. And then, so obviously when you get to age 99 and there's 99,000 in here and you're paying $2,000 a year for it, you die, they're keeping this, they're only on the hook for $1,000. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So the truth of it is, it is getting more expensive, but you're just self-funding it and you don't see it. And then I take my rules out and I show people every one of the rules. I'm like, so if you want access to your money, 6 to 8 or 9% interest loan on your own money. If you die, they keep it. If you want a large sum of money out of this thing, they can keep it for up to 6 months. I go through every one of those things. And I said, and then I'll tell people, I'm like, look, and by the way, it's so expensive that most people would never be able to afford the proper amount of coverage. It's just too expensive to do it. So then what I do is below that, so let me show you what we teach people how to do. Instead of having these two things bundled together as one, we just teach people how to unbundle the two. So we looked at this and said, well, man, you're way underprotected. So let's just say, for example, we gave you $250,000 of term insurance. And by the way, once somebody has a policy with us and they're covered, when you cancel this policy right here, all this money right here, they get to keep it, minus any taxes. So these things grow at such a dismal amount typically the tax consequence is very low.
Your taxes is only on the growth, not what
Only
they
on
put
the
in.
growth. And anytime someone says to you, oh, my policy pays dividends, and then like Northwestern Mutual goes, well, our whole life policies average 8% rate of return. So they're calculating like there's dividends in there, but I wish I had the form with me. A dividend from a life insurance policy is not a dividend like a dividend from a mutual fund or a stock. All it is an overpayment of, it's a refund of an overpaid premium. So you go throughout your year and let's say your premium is $100. Well, it should have been 75. At the end of the year, they refund you the $25 a month times 12, and they say, okay, great news, here's your dividend. And they add that up like it's like your interest on your account. So dividends are just a refund of an overpayment of premium. That's it. So we go ahead and we put you in, we double your coverage, and we take this money down here, and let's say we invest your 25 grand, and over the next 20 years, let's just say, for example, it grows to $250,000. That could be an IRA, whatever, just a mutual fund account. And let's say you get to age 65 and you pass away. What's your family get now?
$500,000.
Yep. And in our plan, guess what? If you die, your family gets the death benefit and the savings. If you need access to your money, do you have to borrow it? Do you have to borrow this money?
No, it's yours.
No, it's yours. If you need a large sum of it, you have to wait 6 months to get it?
7 days.
No, it's your money. So we're putting more control back into people's lives. So if you can kind of go through this too, this just really solidifies everything. Does that make sense? And then